All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle a huge topic, self-sabotage. In just the next few minutes, we are going to break down exactly why we get in our own way, and, more importantly, lay out a clear plan to stop that cycle and build a truly confident mind.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had a crystal clear goal, something you really wanted, only to find yourself doing the exact opposite of what you need to do to get there? Yeah, that's that super frustrating feeling of being the main obstacle on your own path.
Well, that feeling has a name. It's self-sabotage. And all it is, really, is any pattern, whether you know you're doing it or not, that gets in the way of your own goals. And listen, this isn't just about big, dramatic blow-ups. It's often the small, kind of sneaky ways we chip away at ourselves every single day.
Okay, so the very first step to fixing any problem is just seeing it clearly. You have to be able to spot it. So let's start by recognizing the specific patterns of how we tend to get in our own way. Here is an incredibly powerful little tool for self-awareness. Just fill in this sentence. For example, I want to get that promotion, but I keep putting off the big project. Or how about, I want to feel healthier, but I keep staying up way too late binge-watching shows. Seriously, take a second. What's your sentence? Now, understanding what we do is one thing. That's a great start. But the real power, the game-changing part, comes from uncovering the hidden driver. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves in the first place? Okay, this is absolutely crucial. This is not a character flaw. It's not because you're lazy or broken. It's almost always a deeply ingrained, subconscious coping mechanism. Your brain is actually trying to protect you from something, from failure, maybe from the responsibility of success, or just the discomfort of change, by keeping you right where you are in a familiar spot.
And a major reason this happens is because of a psychological concept called cognitive dissonance. All this means is that uncomfortable, kind of cringy feeling you get when your actions don't match up with your beliefs. And our brains absolutely hate this feeling. They will do almost anything to make it go away.
This is a brilliant way to see it in action. So your conscious mind is saying, yes, I want a loving partner. I deserve that. But maybe a deeper subconscious belief, one you're not even aware of, is whispering, yeah, but you're not really worthy of that. So to close that gap, to resolve that dissonance, you might unconsciously start fights or pull away, which makes your reality match that deeper belief. It's wild, right?
So now that we kind of get the why, let's dig into the how. How do all these fears and internal conflicts actually pop up in our day-to-day lives?
As I go through these, see if any of them sound familiar. Procrastination is the classic, right? I mean, you can't fail at something if you never actually finish it. Picking fights can push away intimacy that you might secretly be afraid of. And that negative self-talk, it's just constantly reinforcing the belief that you aren't good enough. See, these aren't random behaviors, they're tactics.
Perfectionism is one of the sneakiest forms of self-sabotage because it looks like a good thing. We wear it like a badge of honor. But there's a huge difference. Striving for excellence is all about growth and getting better. Perfectionism, that's about avoiding shame at all costs, which usually means you're so scared of not being perfect that you get paralyzed and never even start.
Okay, knowing all of this is great, but it's only half the battle. Now we get to the good stuff, the actionable part. Here is a 5-step plan you can start using today to break the cycle for good.
It all begins with awareness. You just have to start noticing the pattern as it's happening. Then, step 2, you have to actively challenge that negative voice in your head. Ask it for proof, like, is that really true or am I just scared? And crucially, you have to practice self-compassion. You're going to stumble. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's just about getting back up without beating yourself up over it.
Next, you fight that feeling of being overwhelmed by making your goals way smaller. So instead of write a book, your goal is just write 100 words today. And finally, you just take action. Even a tiny step forward proves to your brain that you can do it, which builds real earned confidence and starts to quiet that fear.
And this really brings us to the ultimate goal. Because this whole process, it isn't just about stopping a bad habit. It's about building a completely new mindset.
Every single time you choose a constructive action over a self-sabotaging one, you are literally casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're not just avoiding failure anymore, you are actively building a track record of your own success, proving to yourself over and over that you are capable and you are worthy.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Self-sabotage creates this awful feedback loop. You fail because you think you're a failure, which then just proves to you that you were right all along.
Breaking the cycle just means interrupting that loop with new evidence to the contrary.
And that's the whole key. It all starts with just one different choice. One moment of self-compassion instead of criticism. One small action that you take today. That is how the entire cycle begins to unravel.
So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Forget the massive life overhaul for a minute. Based on everything we just talked about, what is the one tiny thing you can commit to doing right now to move forward? That's it. That's where the change begins.